Out of all the various sources of information you can turn to when learning more about the INFJ personality type, there's nothing quite as entertaining as the things less accurate Urban Dictionary comes up with. With a mix of comedic assumptions, misleading misconceptions, and a touch of harsh truths, these descriptions of the INFJ are quite enjoyable. Welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it. Starting with number 1. INFJs are the nicest people you'll ever meet. When looking up the INFJ personality type in Urban Dictionary, the first result could be taken accurately or biasedly, depending on which side of this complex personality type you meet. According to Urban Dictionary, INFJs are the nicest people you'll ever meet. They're empathetic and generally the best. And if you find an INFJ, be prepared to smile, laugh, and cry with them for ages. While they are extremely empathetic, sometimes to a fault, being considered the nicest people you'll ever meet or the best of the MBTI types may be a little far-fetched. In fact, with their extroverted feeling function combined with their heart of gold, the INFJ type is known to put up some hefty walls around their feelings, ultimately causing them to come off as a little cold and unreactive. Yet, despite their reserved nature, it can be said that they are one of the more kind of the MBTI personality types and do in fact often put others first. Number 2. INFJs are chill but intense. With numerous contradicting traits, to say the INFJ personality type is both chill and intense is one of the best ways to describe their outer demeanor. INFJs carry an interesting aura about them that others can't help but notice, and while they often keep to themselves, there's a sense of eeriness that comes with their analytical habits and overly observant nature. Urban Dictionary mentions that people who are INFJs are usually quiet, but very emotional, observant, and intuitive, which is true in all regards and seems to add to this notion of being both relaxed and mysteriously powerful. Often leaving a unique impression on people, their confusing personality brings both the peace and space for others to open up, but also the strikingly thought-provoking introspection that can shatter people's strongly held beliefs and understandings of life. In the same breath, people who become close to someone with the INFJ type will eventually pick up on the fact that they are actually quite high-strung and anxious beneath their outer composure, which can certainly add to their surprising and hidden intensity. Number 3. INFJs aren't all sunshine and rainbows. Speaking of their intensity, while some Urban Dictionary results lean towards the biased interpretation of the INFJ as being overly kind, or as mentioned previously, the nicest people you'll ever meet, the random Urban Dictionary definitions do touch on the other side of the INFJ type. According to one of the search results, they are human and aren't all sunshine and rainbows 24/7. They have a dark side and have the ability to be mean, but it's not in their nature. Push them hard enough, they might snap and show you just how cold and cruel they can be. It takes a lot to get them to that point though. A refreshing take amongst all of the positive-based views on the INFJ personality type. It is true that they have an alter ego of sorts. Luckily, with their stable and balanced moods, it does in fact take quite the situation to bring them to the point of unleashing their inner beast. Acting as the protector aspect of the INFJ's character, they have a defensive side that comes about when their overly kind nature is taken advantage of. Number 4. INFJs are narcissistic and full of themselves. One rather comedic assumption of the INFJ type that is defined within the Urban Dictionary results is that this rare personality type is narcissistic, self-centered, and ultimately prides themselves on their oh-so-unique personality type. Referring to the INFJ as an idiotic narcissist, saying don't wave them over or they'll bombard you with their convoluted ideals and abstractions just to make themselves feel superior. Defining the INFJ as really full of themselves because they have a unique personality type, super obsessed with reading Quora articles about themselves. Probably has weird hobbies like collecting old guns and rusty boxes. Of course, this negative and humorous notion is taken out of context, even for the INFJ who is in fact interested in learning more about their personality type. Most of the narcissist claims that are formed about the INFJ type actually have to do with the so-called intruders that come with typing as one of the rarest in the world. Which brings us to our next point. Number 5. Most people who claim to be INFJs aren't. According to one contributor to the variety of definitions offered by urbandictionary.com, most people who claim to be INFJs probably aren't even that type. Between mistyped online tests and the focus on the INFJ type within the MBTI community, the odds of people claiming to be INFJs may in fact be false in some cases. In fact, Urban Dictionary claims INFJs are not what half of these definitions say about narcissism and egoistic bragging. Sure, they are rare, but they are humble, and the people who claim to be an INFJ but shove it in other people's faces are most likely not actual INFJs. True INFJs do not care or even like the fact that they are considered rare, and they would never brag. They tend to feel alone and lost rather than special and superior. The definition goes on to say that while fake INFJs are priding themselves on being rare, real INFJs are just wondering how to get over the loneliness that is so common with this personality type. Number 6. Societal diagnosticians. Aside from all the focus on INFJ's feelings, this definition is surrounding the INFJ's logical and anthropological side that is often forgotten. According to this definition, INFJs are said to be very independent-minded, creative, service-oriented people who are capable of stepping outside the bounds of the tribe and identifying problems with it as a whole, then envisioning a system for improving things, heading back into the throng and effectively promoting their ideas. Using this unique analogy, INFJs do indeed have a distinctive way of taking information, sorting through it, connecting the dots, and coming to conclusions that benefit everyone involved. Using this approach, they often make selfless leaders and sound problem solvers. Being a so-called societal diagnostic, INFJs feel a natural pull towards human nature and love to deep dive into human behavior, emotions, and intellect in a way that most other types don't bother with. There's nothing that sums this side of the INFJ up better than the fitting Martin Luther King Jr. quote that is included in this Urban Dictionary definition, stating, "The hope of a secure and livable world lies with disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace, and brotherhood." INFJs are the epitome of those disciplined nonconformists. Lastly, and the least to be taken seriously, number 7. INFJs are the hottest people ever. If you've never been on urbandictionary.com, it mostly consists of random and less than accurate definitions of people, places, and things. This definition is a clear sign that there doesn't necessarily have to be any evidence or explanation or rationale to back up the explanations they come up with. Nonetheless, we're here to dissect this included definition of the INFJ personality type as we have the rest. On one hand, INFJs carry with them a mix of both perfectionism and the self-made pressure to constantly self-improve. With these internal needs, there may be something to say about how the INFJ prefers to carry themselves when it comes to being interpreted by others. Some INFJs may put a little extra effort into self-care and the image they portray in terms of style. However, on the other side of things, INFJs are also the least likely to follow the crowd when it comes to trends and societal standards of beauty. Contributing to their uniqueness and mystery, INFJs prefer to portray a form of beauty that is simplistic and quirky. And while they prefer not to be the center of attention, their humble attractiveness combined with their powerful aura is often what draws people in. Hottest people ever? Maybe not. Beautiful in their own unique way? Most definitely. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, Have you ever looked up the INFJ on Urban Dictionary? If so, let us know in the comments if you were surprised by the results. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.